Hi, welcome to the first episode of the Slicer Sabre podcast. This is something that I've been meaning to do for a while, and I thought that the start of a new season and a new Olympic cycle would be a good time to finally launch this podcast. I've got some great guests lined up, some fencers that you will have seen competing this summer in Paris. We're going to be talking about all things sabre and hopefully even get the odd epéiste and foilist on too. I'm going to try and get an episode out every week to begin with at least, and then we'll see. It kind of depends on how much life will get in the way. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the episode. Okay, great. So today I am joined by Thomas Martine. Hi, Thomas. Can you introduce yourself? What your career has been like, results, where you are right now, etc.
Hi, I'm Thomas. I have 25 years old. I'm a French fencer. I'm doing sabre, and I'm part of the Bauer Academy, who's now located in Padova in Italy. And till now, I do some result in Senior World Cup, like some table of 32. And my goal now is to join the French team and to go to Olympic Game in Los Angeles.
So you mentioned there the academy. So one, and you mentioned the switch to Italy. That's been one of the big stories at the end of last season and at the start of this season. Can you tell us a bit more about the move from Orléans to Padua?
Yes, so I'm like in the academy since 5 years. From the beginning, the academy was located in Charenton, and we stay there from November of 2019 to till February 2021. In February 2021, we moved to Orléans. We stay in Orléans until Olympic Game in Paris. And during the last season, the season of the Olympic Game, the coach have an opportunity in Padova. They proposed him to join the club of Padova and to create his own structure inside the club. And he was excited to do a new project. So before Olympic Game, he proposed us who want to join me, who want to come. And I hesitate, and I see the situation in France, and I was like, okay, I don't know what I will have in France. I mean, like, we didn't know who will be national coach, if the national coach will stay 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, because there is also the election of the president of the federation. So I was like, okay, for me, it's not a big risk to go to Italy. Like I'm working with his coach since 4 years, so what about 1 more year, and let's see what's happened. So we start the academy in Padova the 23 September. I go to Italy with the coach by car, and we met Aldo Montano in Livorno. We stay 2-3 days there, and after we start to go to Padova and to join the guy Alberto Pellegrini, Francesco De Robio, Francesco Soprana. And we start to install the academy, and like the newcomer arrive the week of the 23 and the 30 September.
So this is really, really fresh. You've just started in Italy then. It's
Yeah.
And it's in collaboration with Aldo Montano, right?
Yes, right.
Yeah, who Christian Bauer had coached previously back in
Yes,
2004.
yes, exactly.
Okay, and who else has followed you? Are you the only French person to come to Italy?
Yes, I'm the only French person to go to Italy. Before, there were in the academy, there were Charlotte Lembar, but she stopped her career. Bolade Apiti, who is now assistant coach of the France in INSEP.
Yeah.
My roommate Leandre Olivier, who joined INSEP. Louis Klein, who is sparring partner in INSEP and who train in Paris. Amalia Aimé, she go also in Paris, and she joined the academy of Arnaud Schneider.
Hmm.
Um, Pierre Klein, the brother of Louis Klein. He go to a club in north of France and he study. So yes, I'm like the only French guy who tries this new journey in Italy.
And you just mentioned a new academy from Arnaud Schneider.
Yes,
This is new this season also?
yes, this is new. It's like from the beginning of the season, I guess. And some guys join him, guys that he trained before, new guys, Georgian guy. Like
Hmm.
I don't know exactly who is there, but I know like some guys are French guy and some guy from other countries are there too.
So we've really seen an explosion in France in these academies, which didn't really exist before
Mm.
Christian Bauer, no? It feels like because now there
Not in
is
Sabre, not in Sabre. In foil and in EP, it was different. Like the Bauer
Levasseur, yeah.
Academy exists before, and I know that some foil coach do their own also academy, but like more inside a club. But in Sabre, yes, the first one was Christian Bauer, and I guess like um, the system didn't fit to everybody, so some guys prefer to like join a different structures than the INSEP structure. Because in INSEP structure, you don't really choose your coach, you choose INSEP, and after it's a federation who choose the coach, and if you don't like the coach or if it don't work with you with the coach, what you're gonna do? You have to live in SEP. It's complicated. So
Mhm.
I think it's a good mix because it's allowed more people to try to reach the high level. Because in INSEP it's only 12th place, but here with the academy, Onstedt Academy, Arnaud Schneider Academy, Bauer Academy, all these type of new structures allowed more people to try to train every day and to try to reach a better level. And so, like national competition are more tough like this.
And it gives more flexibility in you can choose who you want to train with, where you want to train, etc.
Exactly. I think like it's in other sports it's more logical and us in France in fencing we have like a conception very close-minded of how is the high level and how to reach the high level. And for many people and for many years it was true like the only structure and the only way to go to high level is was to go to INSEP and who is a national center. Um, and I guess like now it's not exactly like this anymore because look from the Olympic game, like three guy was from Manchester and APT was with Bauer in the academy. So the four guy who got a bronze medal in Olympic game was not from INSEP.
It's a big change.
Mm.
Hmm. And now with the move to Italy of Boer, um, do you think that Italy will work better with that kind of structure there? They seem less centralized, traditionally more strong, more club based than France, for example.
I don't think that will change many things in Italy because they already have a different system, not like France. Like as you say, like they work more with the club, and the club are more powerful. So it will just be just like another opportunity from some guys to reach a high level, and I don't think it will cause some trouble like it was in France, like
Hmm.
of the guy who go to academy or no. And I think some guys will come, Italian guys, but not so much because everyone has already his own organization, and you know it's a big step to change like this of organization and structure. So
Hmm.
let's see what's happening.
So who have you got training with you right now? Who has stayed? Is Yildirim Despina who?
Yes, so. Previous guy from the previous academy in Orléans. You have Enver Yildirim, the
Hmm.
Turkish star.
Yeah.
Despina, Georgiadou, of course. Bhavani Devi,
Hmm.
Karan Singh.
The two Indians.
Uh, yes, and me.
Okay.
And that's it. And after you have like new guys, like guys from Petrarca Karma also.
Hmm.
So you have the two sister Fusetti,
Okay.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
oldest, Carlota and Benedetta.
Hmm.
You have Antonio Talarico, who was a junior like 1 year ago or 2 years ago, and he do some top eight in Junior World Cup.
Hmm.
Feels good. And we have Pietro Torre
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
and Michaela Battiston also.
Hmm.
And after you have some also guys from other country who come, but we are not sure that they will stay or not. And
Yeah. You just have the guests. Yeah.
yes, we I think like this year will be like the building of the team, like team building. Try to create a family a spirit, what we have before with a guy in Orléans. It was really friendly. Of course, you have always like um, some problem or there is some fight, but like in every family. But it was cool, and I'm happy to be in this new group and to try to make this again.
It must be quite funny being all from so many different countries, so many different cultures. How do you find common ground? How do you build that family?
You know, I'm from a part of France, 93, who is close to Paris and who were the Olympic Village, Saint-Denis. And in this part of France, in this states, we have people from every origin, every country. I grew up in middle school, in high school with people from Algeria, Pakistan, with everywhere. People as from come from everywhere. So I'm not really like surprised of
So
this or
this is
really
just
like
normal for you already.
for
It's
me
yeah,
it's already normal. But
yeah.
this is different. I cannot say that it's the same because okay, all my friends come from different uh have different origins. Um, but they are French. So it's not the culture. For example, if you have a friend from Pakistan but who's born in French, is not the same guy who's from Pakistan
Hmm.
and who
Hmm.
born and raised in and who was educated in the Pakistani culture. It's completely different. So, for example, I have Indian friends, and I see the difference between my Indian friends who born in France, who are born in Paris, and Bhavani and Karan,
Hmm.
who is born in New Delhi, in Rajasthan, who is born really in India and who have the real Indian culture. Um, for me, it's very, it's easy because even we all have different cultures, we all we are all here for the same reason, for fencing. So like we don't have time to have conflict or something like this. It's more like you will exchange about, oh, in my country it's like this, or in your country it's like this, and you learn the real culture of the country. And it's very funny because also, like, for example, my Indian friends who are born in France, sometimes I know better some part of the history of their own country than them because this guy Bhavani and Karen teach me things and I know better than them. So
It must be also nice you're not competing for selection. Um,
yes.
you're so you can really support each other. There's no competition directly
Yes.
between you.
Yes. I talk also with other guys who are from academy and who have this feeling before, who have this concurrence before. Like even even for example, you are in a national group and you all are friends, of course they will have concurrence, and of course, even you will if you will cheer for your friends, sometimes you can hope in a little part of your mind that he lose, because if he lose, you have more point and you go
Yeah,
and you don't
yeah.
go, and it's it's an
It's
it's a
an
normal
individual
feeling, I
sport.
guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. But uh, the coach like to say like it's an individual sport, but with a collective progression,
Hmm.
and that you take your strengths from the group. And I really feel that when I start training with him, the group we were like 4 or 5 guys. It was before that people like Pliego, Bes, Bazadze arrived, and even the Hitchcock brother before they arrived, like 2, 3 months before they arrived, we start the academy, and we were like 4 or 5, and it was very little. It was only the guys from the club of Charenton, and they come step by step, and we really have start to have a real group in Orléans, and I start to grow and to progress in my level interest really at this moment. And I feel it's because I have this huge opportunity to be like just on the side of a guy who won #1 in the world, or Bolad who was in the top 8 in the world, like this type of guy, even Colin, like all of them teach me many things. Sometimes directly, like they tell you advice this or this. Sometimes just indirectly, like just about fencing, you see them fence or do footwork, and you learn something. And I guess it's if you want to grow in fencing, in saber particularly, I think it's different for foil and épée. It's more close to saber like this. I mean, like about the rhythm of the competition, about the rhythm of the match. But I guess you need to share with other people. You cannot just try to keep all for you and to be selfish. It will not work. You will not grow, because it's a fight with an opponent. It's not like you do ice skating or this type of individual sport where you fight only with yourself and when it's your own technical mistake, because your opponent push you to do mistakes. So if you have no one around you who tell you you have to do more like this or like this or like this, you cannot grow.
Hey, sorry to interrupt. Don't worry, this isn't an ad read. Well, sort of, but I'm not plugging any dodgy supplements or VPNs or whatever. I just want to talk to you about the Slicer Sabre Patreon page. For just $3 a month, you can access a growing catalogue of exclusive Sabre content. I've got videos on there that you won't see on YouTube and exclusive bonus clips from the podcast too. You'll also get early access to YouTube videos and podcasts. All this stuff takes a lot of time and effort, and I'd really appreciate the support. So head on over to patreon.com/Slicer Sabre to join. Also, Christmas is rapidly approaching, so if you're looking for some gifts to get for your fencing friends, check out the Slicer Sabre store. There are t-shirts and water bottles featuring the demon mask design on it, which, by the way, was created by an Olympic foil fencer Chen Yitung of Taiwan. You can also get a notepad featuring art by another multi-talented Olympic fencer, Magda Skarbonkiewicz. If you head over to the Slicer Sabre YouTube channel, you can see all that under the store section. Anyway, sorry to interrupt. Let's get back to the podcast. And how do you find this balance when you are training, in terms of your fencing in training, and do you find a balance between fencing to win? Obviously, you want to win, but also you want to train to work on
To
something
work, yes.
particularly. How do you find this balance?
I guess I'm one of the worst example of this because I always want to work and to grow and to try to improve. So this is my biggest mistake, I guess, like to not enough sometimes be want to be competitive. So
Hmm.
the guys like Enver always remind me this, hey, you are here also to win. Like there is time for work, time for win.
Yeah.
And I think like the balance, um, the coach divides the training in some part. And for example, we have like time of free fencing. It's like 10, 15, 20 minutes, two, three times. So you do 10 or 15 minutes in a row with the same opponent, and you don't count the point. You just do some touch. So this time is for work because it's more easy to work if you don't know how many score your opponent put to you and
Hmm.
how many points you put to your opponent. And when it's match, it's with always with a referee. Always someone has to ref. You don't ref yourself because you cannot be 100% focused on your match and focus also of the refereeing. It's a bit stupid. So when it's match, now I try really like to win more and less to work inside the match. I work in free fencing and I work less in when I do match. I try to win, but it's very difficult for me because I want to grow. I want to reach a better level, and I guess I think it's the only way to go forward is to work. So I'm like, okay, if I try to win just for win, maybe I will not, I will pass, I will not see some mistakes that I do, and I will not be able to correct them and to continue to grow.
It's hard. Sometimes you have to train to be better at fencing. Sometimes you have to train to be better at winning. And
Because winning gives you confidence, and confidence for me, it's like the very sensitive point of fencing because you see, so there is some guys that are very strong, but they never do result in competition, and you're like, why they don't do result?
Mhm.
And it's also about confidence because when you fence in competition, in fact, it's like you do some class for an exam, and the competition is the exam. And if you don't have confidence of what you build before during the class, you will fall down in the exam. You will fail the exam. For me, this is the same thing. So competitive match in training give you confidence. If you do a week and you lose all your match, you cannot say that you will not think, maybe I'm bad, or I'm not
Mhm.
good enough, I'm not enough. So yes, it's important also to do competitive match for build this confidence and continue to grow because you can have the best technique, the best tactic, best physical, but if you are not confident of what you do, it will never work because you will not trust, you will not believe of what you do.
And you have a clear line between, okay, this is just work and this is training to win. This is competitive training. You make it clear in your head, you know what you are doing when you are training.
Now more, I
Hmm.
learned this in the academy. Before I was just training for training. Before academy, I trained like 5 6 hours per week because I didn't have the opportunity to be in SEP because at this moment I was not good enough. And before in junior and in cadet, I don't have the money for go to the national center of cadet and junior, who was located in Tarbes, in south of France, and I'm from
Hmm.
north, so you have to take the train every time to pay for the internship. It was too much complicated for me, so I just train in the club 2 3 times a week, 5 6 hours per week. So training didn't have the same meaning for me.
Hmm.
And now I train 5 6 hours a day. So what I was doing in one week, I do now in one day. So it's completely different. And now it's more clear in my head how I separate, I divide the training. Like it's also a mental training to know that, okay, now I fence, I want to work. No matter how many touch I will take, I will continue to work until this work for me, until I do it good, until it's good enough. And this is like the training we do, like the physical part from 9 to 11. After we do like collective lesson, 1 hour, 2 hours, it's depend. And after we fence 1 hour, 2 hour also. So it's finished at 3:30, and we start at 9. And I think like in during the physical part, I just try to really do the things right, like 100% right, so good movement, the right movement. When we do the collective lesson, it's the same. So it's work until 12, 12:30. It's only work, only work. And after, when we arrive in fencing, where we have to do match, when it's match, I try only to win. And
Mhm.
if we do free fencing before the match, I try to work during the free fencing. And when I feel okay, this touch, this movement, I have okay, I do it right. I will try to repeat, but like in a competitive way, like be able to put 20 times the same touch, 20 times the same action, and don't miss.
This is for me the really hard part of fencing is this discipline to um there's this natural tendency when you know to win a match you have to do the same action. Okay, this is one action that will work. And you do the action maybe two, three times, and then you decide, okay, I can do it. And then you go try something else.
Exactly.
And it's really hard to have this discipline to no, do the action, win the match, finish the match. And it
Exactly.
must be really hard psychologically, like mentally to train like this 6 hours a day. To it must be exhausting, no?
Um, it's there is, as I know, and about experiences of top fencer who told me that, like Sandro, Bolad, there is like two way to train. How you train in tiredness.
Hmm.
It's right. Is it right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you train, and you always try to reach your best shape. Both have advantage and disadvantage. And us with the academy, we train in tiredness. We try to be strong in a moment that you are very tired, physically and mentally. And yes, it's difficult, and you cannot be focused 100% from 9 to 3 p.m. It's impossible. No one can do this. So you have like time break, or you have to give you some time break where you are more less focused, and for be very active, very focused, very like inside the game when it's the important moment. And this is also like very good for fencing, I guess, because it's the same in match for me. Like sometimes you do a match in 15 touch, and the 3, 4, 5, 6 first point, you are focused. Of course, you want to win, but sometimes you are not 100% focused. You put touch, you get touch, it's okay. But when you arrive to 11, 12, you you have this feeling like, okay, it's now. I have to do it right, and I can't fail. I have to make this guy fail, but I can't fail. So it's the same thing. You have to choose your moment, because you cannot be 100% on all the match, all the competition, all the day. So we have also this kind of things, like where we do, for example, the physical preparation. We do like uh, uh, circuit training, where you have like a couple of exercise, like 10 exercise with hurdle, with jump, with ladder, with many things. And we do one by one each exercise, one by one each exercise. And at the end, we do like all the circuit, one, two, three, four, five times, six times, depend. Now it's the beginning of season, so it's more two, three times. But this is the moment, the key moment, where you cannot do mistake. Maybe before, when you do the exercise, you touch a hurdle, the quality of the jump is not good. You touch the ladder, okay. But when you do the circuit, and the coach take his uh,
Stopwatch, yeah, the timer.
yes, the time, take his clock, and he say go, and you have to go, and you have to do the circuit. It's like a match, like you are like, okay, now I can't fail. I have to do it right. You have to do it right. So it's the same thing, all of the training. You have like time where you are very focused, 100% completely focused inside the moment present. And sometimes in the training, your mind go and come and go, and you are not really focused. But this is completely normal.
So you really cannot separate the mental training and the physical training. They really work together.
For me, all work together. Nothing can really be separate because all what we do it's for fencing. All what we do are supposed to have a meaning in fencing. If not, maybe it's waste time.
Mhm.
So even when I run, okay, I run pretty fast, but people think I like to run, but I hate run. I hate run long distance. I mean,
Mhm.
1, 2, 3 kilometers, okay, but when it's 8, 9, 10, it's exhausted, it's boring, you want to kill yourself. But when I do this, I don't take so much pleasure, but the only pleasure that I take, it's like maybe it will help me to be better in fencing.
Mhm.
Not directly. It's not because I will run faster or more, it will be more easier for me to run 9 kilometers than the week before and the week before and the months before. But maybe I will have that will help me to have a more better global stamina, who will
Mhm.
help me to have a more better recovery, and who will help me to be more lucid and more active and more fresh in training. So it will help me to be more better in fencing.
And I guess you really feel the difference now you are training, this is the difference between training, 6 hours a week and 6 hours a day. You really put yourself in these tough situations.
From the beginning, it was very difficult because like when the coach come, like he all what I do, he say, no, it's not right. No, it's not right. Your lunch is not right. Your step is not right. Your back step is not right. And for me, it was, I think, easier than for some people because I didn't have so strong levels. So I didn't have so big conviction about what I do.
Hmm.
Like I was not like, okay, for win, I have to do this or this. I have no idea at this moment, like what I have to do or what is right, what is not right. So I think it's coming slowly because there is many steps. Like first you have to adapt to the training, like 6 hour training every day, mentally and physically. After you have to try to learn his concept, what he explain you about fencing, because what he do, it's like school of fencing. Sometimes during 2 hours we can be sit and he talk and he have his whiteboard and he write things on the whiteboard and he explain you this is for this, you touch like this because this, you go back at this moment because this. So first you have to understand it. So analyze, understand, try to understand. After that, your mind understand, that your brain understand what he say, your body have to understand. And the connection between between mind and body, sometimes it's very complicated. So you have to understand and to be able to do the movement technically right. After you have to be able to understand to do the movement technically right with your opponent. And this is the big point, big difficult point. It's the opponent. If you do footwork, your footwork are always perfect. But when you fence, your footwork are shit because there is an opponent and he put you pressure, he change the distance, he run at you, he go back, with something with his saber, you move with him, you take his rhythm and it destroy your rhythm. So what is very difficult for me, it's not really the training, it's to bring what you do in training and to be able to do maybe like 50% of what you do in training to do it in competition. So that's why it's difficult to train with him and to train like 6 hours because you think always like I will be able or not to do it in competition. I will be able to do it in training match. You don't know. You don't know
Mhm.
too.
And so we're talking about Christian Bauer there. He's incredibly precise, right, with his well with everything. Is this correct?
For me, he always try to do things for a reason.
Hmm.
And sometimes it's difficult because you don't understand the reason, and you're like, is there is a real purpose in this behind this exercise or these things, and you're like, you want to know, and sometimes he say to you like, I will not tell you, you just have to do, and maybe I will tell you in 1 month, 2 months, so you stay with your
Hmm.
question. But he always answer to your question at the end. But from the beginning, sometimes it's complicated because you don't understand why you do things, and you're like, why I'm supposed to do this, why we run, why we do this, why this, why this. You always have many questions, and you have to disconnect the brain and just go, and after you will understand.
It seems interesting for you in particular because I remember you as a junior fencer, um, or maybe it was 6, 7 years ago. We fenced even in a pool once, and you were
Yeah.
so there was so much energy, which you still have this energy, but it must be an interesting process in learning how to control, how to channel, and how to become a bit more, I guess, controlled. No, is this has this been the focus?
Yes, you're totally right. I think when I was more young, I don't have so much confidence of what I do in fencing. But the only thing that I have, it's like a big fire, internal
Hmm.
fire, something
Yeah.
inside me who just want to be relieved. So I was fencing like this, without thinking, just instinctive, really instinctive fencing. And there is, I passed by many, many steps with him. First, when I start with him, I was still like this, very like excited, very like run everywhere, be crazy, jump and yell, and when you start to put like thinking about what I do, I pass by a step very like I was too calm, like it was not me anymore. I
Hmm.
was too much focus of what I do, why, and it was not natural. And I guess like the two last season, I find kind of mix of be more relaxed, more calm, more thinking about what I do, but also still have this creativity and fire inside me. But it's difficult sometimes to find the balance because in some competition, every competition are different, and even if you find the same opponent, from a competition to another competition, the guy change,
Hmm.
the breath change, his mindset change, your mindset change, your technique change, everything change. So it's never the same thing, and you always have to find the right recipe of the day because it's not the same from the recipe of the week before.
There is
And
so much chaos in fencing in Sabre. It's managing all these random
exactly.
things, and yeah.
So this is my big issue. It's to manage all this, and when you pass step, there is always what you do before for pass previous step.
Hmm.
You have to do it again. For example, the first year after COVID, it was my first international competition. I mean, not satellite competition, but real
Hmm.
competition. It was a Grand Prix of Orléans 2021. And I lose with a Barlois,
Hmm.
a French guy,
Yeah.
in a 60 before the 64, like for pass in the second day. And this season, I do only two World Cup. I don't pass. And the next season, I do for the first World Cup. I pass 3 times. I pass direct, and I do 132, and I think, wow, okay, I find something. I arrive, and the next competition, I do round of pool,
Hmm.
and you feel, maybe you pass a step, and you do 3 step forward, 2 step back, and
Yeah,
now you
yeah.
have to find back this. And I feel it will be the same this season because, for example, I go to National Cup. Before, when I go to National Cup, I was really like, I need to win this competition for proof to everybody that I have the level to go to World Cup because I
Hmm.
was not from INSEP, so I need to show to everyone like I can go to World Cup. I will do podium. Let me go to World Cup. And the first competition of the first national competition is always before the first World Cup. Like last year and 2 years ago, it was Alger. Now it's Oran. But these two last season, I do third place in this competition, and always like go to this competition like I go in a boxing ring, like I will kill everybody. It was my mindset. And now this season I go with less preparation, of course, because normally we will start like the 5th of September, but because it was Olympic game, we will start later. And I go and I do top 16. And I feel that I didn't go in the same mindset that I go in the previous national cup. And now I feel okay. Now I do maybe 2 back step, and I have to find back this to find the good recipe between okay, last year you do some 32, but this is a different year. This is a different season. It's new competition and it's new challenge. You have new goals, how to manage this, how to increase your level, but continue to be competitive in competition. This is the very sensitive point that you have to find every time the balance between this.
And we see is it's always balancing. Everything is always in fencing is always, yeah, finding a balance. Okay, I think for me this is good. I don't want to drag you on for too long. I'm going to stop the recording there. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Anything you want to talk about particularly? Anything to
No, no,
sell
not
or
specially, not
sponsors
specially.
or no? Okay.
No, no, for sponsors, it's okay for me.
Okay. Okay, I will stop the recording.